Hey guys, welcome back to Luke's Garage. Today I'm going to show you how to replace a valve cover gasket on this Toyota RAV4. It's very easy to do. Any of you guys can do this with basic tools at your house. Yeah, let's just go over this. It's super easy, super fun, quick and dirty. In order to tell when you need to replace your valve cover, you just look around this whole edge and you can see all the oil has been leaking out. That's one of the big indicators that the actual gasket in that cover is shot. So what we'll do is take off this air cleaner, then we'll take off all of these various nuts, we'll take out the coil packs and everything to get access to this valve cover so we can remove it and replace the actual gasket. The very first step is we will remove the air cleaner box so we can get access to the actual valve cover. Now that we have the air box removed, we can access the bracket that held the air box in place. We can access the coil pack, so we'll remove all four of those guys, and then we'll also remove this bracket right there. And then we will go around the outside of this valve cover, releasing all of these bolts that hold the top on so we can remove it and replace the gasket. The coil packs have been removed from the valve cover, as you can see. So the next thing we'll do is remove this bolt so we can take this harness off, and then we'll also remove this tube and this guy, and then we will actually be able to remove this valve cover once we take these final bolts off the top, and it should just pop right up. Now that we have all of our bolts removed, we have the two on the inside and then all of the cover ones around the exterior that we're holding the cover on removed. There is a tab right here. We can actually insert a flathead screwdriver and pry this up and it should pop right up. Now that we have our valve cover off, what you want to make sure and never do is drop things into this open motor. You can put plastic bags over the top of this while you're working on it. But what we want to do is remove this old gasket off of this mating surface, and we want to replace it with the new one. This is pretty brittle, I can already feel it. But it also gives you a chance to look inside of your engine and see how it looks. For the mileage, this actually looks pretty clean, looks like a good motor. Look inside of your valve cover, pretty dirty. We'll spend some time and clean it up and make it look nice while we have it off so that this motor is put together right. But we'll move on to replacing the gasket. You want to make sure if there's any remaining gasket on the actual valve cover, you remove that too, so both of your mating surfaces are totally flat and you get a good seal when you put this back together. Okay, on our valve cover, we have removed all of the old gasket material. We have installed a little bit of RTV gasket maker to hold our new gasket in place, and what we'll do is install the new gasket on top of this cover, and then we will flip it over onto the actual motor for the final installation. Now that we have the cover back in place, gasket is in place, all of the RTV looks like it's set up just fine. We need to reinstall the actual bolts holding the valve cover on, so we'll go ahead and do that. You want to install them in basically a semi-star pattern, not torquing them down all the way. You kind of want to get a halfway torque down on these bolts, and then you'll let this thing set for about a half an hour, and then you can come down and actually tighten these down the rest of the way. So what it does is kind of gives that RTV a chance to set up and get hard, because if you didn't do that, you just squish it all out of place and it would make a mess, and it really wouldn't serve the purpose of sealing this up properly. Okay, now that the manifold is reinstalled, our bolts are tightened down, we will reinstall all of the components that we have strewn about the garage the same way we took them off. But that's it, pretty easy change out. I think any of you guys can do this. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up.